I'm sure you've heard of exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. They're a great way of gaining access or an exposure to a theme or to a basket of securities. But there are so many of them. Last time I checked on the ASX, there were about 172 ETFs. In the US market, it's closer to 3,000. And it seems that it's the ones that have the most money flowing through them, the biggest ones, the most traded. These are the ones that get the headlines, the ones that we hear about the most. But there are some interesting opportunities among some of the lesser known ETFs. And some of them are actually showing more consistent, strong gains over the last 3 or 4 months. They've got a bit better momentum, so I thought we might have a look at some of those and look at the big names as well. So we'll start with 4 or 5 of the big ones and then have a look at some of these other ones. So to start off, we'll look here at the biggest one in terms of the money that flows through on a daily basis. It's the SPY. This is an ETF that reflects the performance of the S&P 500 index. Now, you can't invest directly into the S&P 500 index, but what you can do instead is buy this SPY ETF, and it gives performance that reflects the performance of the S&P 500. Now, this is a chart of the ETF. If I switch it to a chart of the index, there's almost no difference. So you can see the performance of the ETF is basically reflecting the performance of the S&P 500. Next one on the list in terms of the daily money flowing through the ETF is QQQ. This ETF reflects the performance of the NASDAQ, often referred to as the technology index. Again, it's been good, strong, consistent gains over, well, best part of the last 2 years, certainly 18 months. So big, strong performer there if you're interested in the NASDAQ. This next one is interesting. This is TQQQ, symbol TQQQ, ProShares Ultra Pro QQQ ETF. Now this one again is reflecting the performance of the NASDAQ index, but this time it comes with 3 times leverage. So what this ETF is attempting to do is to give returns that on a daily basis are the equivalent of 3 times the returns that are being given by the NASDAQ index. It's important to know whenever you are investing in an ETF exactly what that ETF is trying to achieve, because one like this is giving you leverage, which can be fine if it goes in the right direction. If it goes against you, the losses could stack up faster than you were expecting. Another one of interest is an ETF reflecting the performance of the Russell 2000. This is another big index in the US, a broader based index. And I think it's interesting to note just at the moment that the Russell 2000 ETF and the index, which we can look at here, the index is basically the same, but it hasn't got that same consistent uptrend that we've been seeing in the S&P 500. So that's just something interesting to note. Anyway, that's an ETF that reflects the performance of the Russell 2000. And last one here, this is the 5th of the big ones in terms of the money flowing through on a daily basis. This is an iShares MSCI EAFE ETF. So basically this reflects global markets, Europe, Europe, Australasia and the Far East. So basically global markets without the US. Looking similar to the Russell 2000, I guess. Okay, now those are the big ones with lots of money flowing through. But I've also gone and done some research to look for the ETFs that have had the best consistent performance over the last 3 or 4 months. And one that came pretty close to the top of the list was interesting. It's this one, UNG, which reflects natural gas prices. So we can see there's been a big run up in that one lately. It's delivering some very nice returns for those that are on board. I wish I'd done this video a couple of days ago when I first noticed this, but there you go. Another one which also reflects movements in natural gas is this one, ticker symbol BOIL, B-O-I-L. Now this one offers leverage to the natural gas price. BOIL offers 2 times leverage. So the performance of this, daily performance of this, is intended to be twice the daily change in natural gas prices. Another one that was interesting was this one, TECL, Direction Daily Technology Bull. So this one also is offering leverage, 3 times leverage, to movements in technology stocks. Another one that I think is particularly interesting is this one, Lithium. So it's been quite strong performance. There are a lot of ways that you can get exposure to the lithium market. Lithium, of course, seen as being crucial to the development of electric cars and batteries for those cars. There may be alternatives, but for now, lithium is something that people are investing in to get exposure to that. Now you can try and choose individual companies, or if you think that's a bit difficult, you can invest in something like this lithium-based ETF, which will give you exposure to the industry. Next one I've got here is ticker symbol ROM. It's another technology-based one. This particular one, though, is based on the Dow Jones US Technology Index, and it's constructed to give you 2 times exposure to that index, the movements in that index. Finally, I've got 3 property-based ones. So DRN, this one offers you 3 times leverage to the index, to an index of US real estate investment trusts. A nice little pop just recently. Looks like a good trend there. IYR, another one that's had a good little pop overnight on good volume. IYR, I believe, is not leveraged. Again, it's giving you exposure to the Dow Jones US Real Estate Index. And finally, I have to mention URE, ProShares Ultra Real Estate ETF. This one offers 2 times leverage. And just for full disclosure, I did actually buy some of this one myself. So let's hope it keeps going. Well, that's just a bit of a roundup for you on these ETFs. It's a very interesting space, but it does pay to look beyond just the big names. There's certainly a lot of action out there, and amongst the thousands of ETFs that are available and can be traded for free on the Monex platform, it's worth looking at some of these smaller ones that have got good momentum. Well, thanks very much for watching. Come back for the next video.